Previously on Chicken Philosophy. Hi. I'm Edward. Nice to meet you. For those who are seeing me for the first time. And welcome back to the rest of you. Today, I'm going to be picking up where somebody left off, one of us, last time in Volume 3 of Carl Jung's The Black Books. Hope everyone's doing well. I pulled my shoulder, so I have a limited range of motion right now. That starts to cause some pain, so that should be fine. I don't think that should affect this too much, but if you notice me being particularly left-handed today, that's why. Oversharing. Okay, let us get to the reading. I mean, I don't have any, planned, wacky openings today. So, here we go. First, let me reach over with my left hand and get the magnifying glass. January 1st, as predicted last time, whoever that was, said that today it was going to be January 1st of 1914. I take up my task. Pleasure is permissible. Dividing line, quote, I awaken. The day dawns in the east. A night, a wonderful night in the distant depths of time lies behind me. In what faraway space was I? What did I dream? Of a white horse? If I only could remember. It seems to me as if I had seen this white horse on the eastern sky over the rising sun. The horse spoke to me. What did it say?
Hello, I'm Mr. Red. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course, that is...
So we're going to be away for a while, and just because it's fun, noticing the difference between, oversharing publicly and, kind of keeping things private. It's kind of fun. I don't know. It's, mental, it's mental, emotional to keep a thing sacred, to keep a thing secret. But I'll tell you about it later. In a couple of weeks or 3? I don't know. That's how out there this thing is. So, I hope you all have... Oh, wait, I haven't finished. I haven't started. It's time for the reading. And then after this episode, you won't see me again for a while. So you can catch up. That's good news, because you can go through and finally watch that Martin Luther series and catch up on the Multiverse Cartographer special and whatever else. Okay. Dividing line. Music, please. I literally have no idea. Sometimes I know. When I was BT and the Watchmen HBO soundtrack came on, I was thinking that's what it was going to be when I was sitting there in uniform, That's why I was saying hopefully YouTube will allow it, but yeah, they don't seem to mind. It's only really the Beatles that gets blocked worldwide. Okay. I awaken the day... Oh yeah, the horse. What did the horse say? Quote, Hail him who is in darkness. The day is over him. End quote. Can we show the... Sun card. So I figured the sun... A horse, I mean, sometimes you gotta show the sun card, the Rider-Waite version. Okay. Oh, I see. There are 4 horses, white with golden wings. They lead the carriage of the sun, on which Helios stands with flaring mane. I stood in the gorge, frightened and astonished, and 1,000 black serpents crawled swiftly into their holes. Freud. I know what it means. Sorry. Back to seriousness. Jung. Yes, Helios ascended, rolling upward toward the wide paths of the sky. I knelt down, raised my hands suppliantly, and called, quote, "Give us your light! You are flame-curled, entwined, crucified, and revived. Give us your light! Your light!" End quote. That was him talking. This cry awoke me. Oh, by the way, I'd like to welcome special guest, the Bodhisattva of Compassion, Chenrizik, also known as Avalokiteshvara, also known as Kuan Yin, also known as Kanon. Basically, they're all... Never mind. Magnifying glass. Let's try it with the right hand for a while. Didn't the anchorite say yesterday evening, quote, "Do not forget to say your morning prayer when the sun rises," end quote. I thought that perhaps he secretly worships the sun. Outside, a fresh morning wind rises. Yellow sand trickles in fine veins down the rocks. The sky reddens, and I see the first rays shoot up to the firmament. Solemn, the adjective. Solemn, calm, and solitude on all sides. A large lizard lies on a stone and awaits the sun. I stand as if spellbound and laboriously remember everything from yesterday, especially what the anchorite said. He is a remarkable man. But what did he say? That the sequences of words have many meanings, and that John brought the Logos up to man, elevated it to man. But that does not sound properly Christian. Is he perhaps a Gnostic? No, that seems impossible to me, since they were really the worst of all idolaters of words, as he would probably put it. The sun, what fills me with such remarkable inner exaltation, I should not forget my morning prayer. But where has my morning prayer gone? Quote, "Dear son, I have no prayer, since I do not know how one must address you," end quote. Now, I have prayed to the sun, but the anchorite really meant that I should pray to God at the break of day. He probably does not know. We have no more prayers. How should he know about our nakedness and poverty? What has happened to our prayers? I admit that I miss them here. This must really be because of the desert. It seems here as if one might ought to know how to pray. Is the desert so very bad? I think it is no worse than our cultural deserts, which we call cities. Bars. But why then do we not pray there? Apparently we do not have a deity to pray to, neither there nor here. I must look toward the sun? ? What if, as if it had something to do with this, alas, the age-old dreams of mankind? It seems as if one can never escape them. What shall I do this whole long morning? It seems to stretch out unbearably. I do not understand how the hermit could have endured this life for even a year. I go back and forth on the dried-up riverbed and finally sit down on a boulder. Before me there are a few yellow grasses. Over there a small dark beetle is crawling along, pushing a ball in front of it, a scarab. You dear little animal, are you still toiling away in order to live your beautiful myth? And how seriously and unflaggingly it works. If only you had a notion that you are enacting an old myth, you would probably renounce your fantasies, as we men have also given up playing at mythology. The unreality gradually nauseates one. Bars! Okay. What I say sounds very odd in this place, and the good hermit would certainly not agree with it. What am I actually doing here? No, I don't want to prejudge matters in advance, since I still haven't really understood what he actually means. He has a right to be heard. By the way, I thought differently yesterday. I was even very thankful to him that he wanted to teach me, but I'm being full of myself, once again, and pretend to be critical and superior, and may well learn nothing. His ideas are not that bad at all. No, they are even good. I don't know why I have the tendency to put the man down. Perhaps there is a lot of uncomfortable stuff I need to understand? ? Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about that before. I mean, you and me, not Carl Jung yet. Okay. I mean, in the highlights in Volume 1, they kind of went over it in a flyby, bird's eye view, but this is the first time in the journals that we're getting to this. Anyway, where was I? Quote, Dear Beetle, where have you gone? I can no longer see you. Oh, you're already over there with your mythical ball. These little animals stick to things, quite unlike us. No doubt, no change of mind, no hesitation. Is this so because they live their myth? Quote, Dear Scarab, my father, I honor you. Blessed be your work in eternity. Amen. End quote. Bars. What nonsense am I talking? Immediately. Okay, what nonsense am I talking? I'm worshiping an animal. That must be because of the desert. It seems absolutely to demand prayers. How beautiful it is here. The reddish color of the stones is wonderful. Cross out B. They seem to reflect the glow of 100,000 past suns. These small grains of sand have rolled in fabulous primordial oceans. Over them swam primordial monsters with forms never beheld before. Where were you, man, in those days? On this warm sand lay your childish primordial animal ancestors, like children snuggling up to their mother. Roll the clip.
Every grain of sand will outlive every man alive and every man that ever will be born. Immortality? I hold it in my hand. Only the little grains of sand will never die.
That's from the Egyptian, from this year. I don't know what year, so Editor Edward's going to throw it up there. If you're on the audio-only version, sorry, I don't know how to get that information to you. Okay, I'll keep reading. Oh mother stone, I love you. I lie snuggled up against your warm body, your late child. Blessed be you, my ancient mother. Yours is my heart and all glory and power. Amen. Amen. It's like here Shri is like the, his honorable, the great, great form of respect. And so sometimes people will start a brand of whatever and call themselves Shri, like double holy. It says Shri so-and-so's pub. No, never mind. Okay, where were we? Yeah. They seem, what? How everything appears so animated to me. Oh, after amen, amen. What am I saying? That must be the desert. Such strange things usually do not come to my mind. How everything appears so animated to me. This place is truly terrible. These stones, are they stones? They are all individual, yet they intimately belong to each other. They seem to have gathered here deliberately. They're lined up like a troop transport that moves down the valley. They've arranged themselves harmonically. The large ones stand apart. The small ones close ranks and gather in groups that precede the large ones. Here the stones seem to form well-structured armies and states. Am I dreaming or am I awake? It's hot. The sun already stands high. How the hours pass. Truly the morning is nearly over. And what an astonishing morning. Is it the sun, or is it strangely animated? Is it this strangely animated riverbed? Or is it the desert that makes my head buzz? I go up to the valley, and before long I reach the hut of the anchorite. He is sitting on his mat with folded hands, lost in deep reflection. My father, I say quietly, here I am. Quote, how have you spent your morning? End quote. I was surprised when you said yesterday that time passes quickly for you. I don't question you anymore. I've learned a lot, but only enough to make you an even greater riddle than you were before. Why, all the things that you must experience in the desert, you wonderful man. Even the stones are bound to speak to you. Quote, I'm happy that you have learned to understand something of the life of the anchorites. That will make our difficult task easier. I don't want to intrude on your mysteries, but I feel that you come from a strange world that has nothing to do with mine. End quote. Well, he does. You speak the truth. I'm a stranger here, more foreign than you've ever seen. Even a man from Britain's remotest coast is closer to you than I am. Therefore, have patience, master, and let me think from the source of your wisdom. Drink from the source of your wisdom. What faucet, pray tell, what tap is that? Sorry, that's crude. I'll read the line again. Yes. Thirsty, let me drink from the source of your wisdom. Although the thirsty desert surrounds us, an invisible stream of living water flows here. Quote, have you said your prayers? Master, forgive me. I've tried, but I found no prayer, yet I dreamed that I prayed to the rising sun. Quote, don't worry yourself because of that. If you do not find a word, your soul has nevertheless found inexpressible words to greet the break of day. End quote. But it was a heathen prayer to Helios. Quote, let that suffice for you. End quote. Oh, but, oh, master, I've prayed not only to the sun in a dream, but my absent-mindedness also to the scarab and the earth. Quote, be astonished at nothing, and in no case condemn or regret it. Let us go to work. Do you want to ask something about the conversation we had yesterday? End quote. I interrupted you yesterday when you spoke of Philo. You wanted to explain your notion of the various meanings of particular sequences of words. Quote, well, I'll continue my account of how I was freed from the awful predicament of spinning words. A man my father had set free once came to me. This man, whom I'd been attached to since my childhood, spoke to me and said, quote within quotes, O Ammonius, parentheses, that is my name, end parentheses, are you well, end quote within quotes, quote within quotes, certainly, end quote within quotes, I said, quote within quotes, as you can see, I am learned and have great success.
Great success.
Thank you, Borat. And quote within quotes, Quote within quotes, I mean, are you happy, and are you fully alive? And quote within quotes, the old man responded. I laughed, quote within quotes, as you can see, all is well, end quote within quotes. By the way, all these quotes within quotes are in bracket parentheses, because Carl Jung didn't use them, but Sonu decided to put them in. Thank you, Sonu. I know I give you a hard time sometimes, man, but I appreciate what you did here. Just saying. Okay, where was I? Yes. The old man replied, quote within quotes within bracket parentheses, I saw how you lectured. You seemed to be anxious at the judgment of your listeners. You wove witty jokes into the lecture to please your listeners. Cross out listeners. Students. You heaped up learned expressions to impress them. You were restless and hasty, as if still compelled to snatch up all knowledge. You are not in yourself. End quote in quotes. Although these words at first seemed laughable to me, right? Because who's that flexible, right? Sorry. They still made an impression on me, and reluctantly I had to credit the old man, since he was right. Then he said, quote within quotes within bracket parentheses, Dear Ammonius, I have delightful tidings for you. God has become flesh in his Son and has brought us all salvation. End quote within quotes within bracket parentheses. Quote within quotes that aren't in bracket parentheses. What are you saying? And bracket I called, quote within quotes, you probably mean Osiris, end quote within quotes. Because this is all in the story that the anchorite named Ammonius is telling. So the whole thing is in quotes. So that's why it's quotes within quotes, sometimes within bracket parentheses, if you were lost. It's been a while since we weren't in quotes. Okay. You probably mean Osiris, is what Ammonius said. Who shall appear in the mortal body? No, he replied. This man lived in Judea. He was born from a virgin. End quote in quotes within bracket parentheses. I laughed and answered, quote unquote, I already know about this. A Jewish trader has brought tidings of our virgin queen to Judea, whose image of the temp, cross out of the temp, appears on the walls of the temple in Luxor, and reported it as a fairy tale, end quotes within bracket parentheses. Quote in quotes, no, he was the son of God, end quote in quotes within bracket parentheses. The old man said, quote in quotes, then you mean Horus, the son of Osiris, don't you? End quote in quotes. Quote in quotes, no, he was not Horus, but a real man. He was hung from a cross. End quote in quotes. Quote in quotes, but this must be Seth, surely, who our old ones have often described that way. End quote in quotes. Quote in quotes, he died and rose up on the third day. End quote in quotes. Quote in quotes, well then he must mean Osiris. End quote in quotes. Cross out, well then he must be. Then he must be Osiris. Oh. Well he crossed out, well he must be. Okay. I mean, it was a typo, I guess, but it was in German. How did you translate? Never mind. I'll just leave out the quotes within quotes and try to do voices. No, he was called Jesus Christ, said the voice in the anchorite named Ammonius's head, who, by the way, is in Carl Jung's head. So you've got heads within heads, like episode 2 of season 1, Rick and Morty, dreams within the characters in the dreams. Okay. You mean... No, he was called Jesus Christ. And then this is the voice of Ammonius. You mean this Jewish God, whom the peep, cross out peep, vulgar honor at the harbor. No, he was a man, and yet the Son of God. That's nonsense, dear old man. I said and showed him to the door. But like an echo from distant rock faces, the words returned to me, quote unquote, a man and yet the Son of God, end quote unquote. It seemed significant to me, and this phrase was what brought me to Christianity, end quote unquote, in bracket. But don't you think that Christianity could ultimately only be a Jewish transformation of your Egyptian ideas? Quote, if you say that our old teachings were less adequate expressions of Christianity, then I'm more likely to agree with you. End quotes. Yes, but do you assume then that to such an extent, cross out to such an extent, the history of religions is to such an extent aimed at a final goal? Quote, my father once bought a black slave at the market. Sorry, the world and YouTube, for that combination of the words and the face and mouth it came out of. I'm reading about the fantasy of a guy who lives in Carl Jung's head. Sorry. Anyway, from the region of the source of the Nile, he came from a country that had heard of neither Osiris nor of Christ, and he told me many things from his religion that said in a simplistic, simple language that the same that we said, Crossout said, believed about Osiris. I learned to understand what those uneducated N-word, but not the really bad N-word, the one that was common vernacular like 70 years ago, 80 years ago. Anyway, unknowingly already possessed most of what the religions of the cultured peoples had developed into systems. Those able to read that symbolic language correctly should thus recognize it in the religion of Osiris, as well as the gospel of Christ. And it's with this that I now occupy myself. I read the gospel to seek its meaning, which is yet to come. We know its meaning in the past, insofar as we know the religions of the past. It's a worldly error to believe that religions differ in their innermost essence. Strictly speaking, it's always one and the same religion. Every subsequent form of religion is the meaning of the antecedent. End quote. Have you found out the meanings which are yet to come? Says Carl Jung to the voice in his head, named Ammonius. Anyway, quote, no, it's very difficult, but I hope I'll succeed. Sometimes it seems to me that I need the stimulation of others, but I realize that those are temptations of Satan. I know. End quote. Don't believe that you've succeeded if you were nearer to men. Or don't you believe that you'd succeed if you were nearer to men? Quote, perhaps you're right. Parentheses, the anchorite looks at me suddenly in a doubtful and suspicious way, end parentheses. But I love the desert. Do you understand? This yellow sun-glowing desert. Here you can see the countenance of the sun every day. You are alone. You can see Helios every day. No, that is pagan. I'm confused. You are Satan. I recognize you. Give way, adversary. End quote. Says the anchorite, the ancient priest-hermit in the Libyan desert named Ammonius, to Carl Jung, who's hallucinating him. It's getting spicy. He bumps up incense and wants to lunge at me. He jumps up incensed and wants to lunge at me, but I am far away in the 20th century. I feel the manifold, shimmering spirit of life in the mask of the day and in the mask of the night, rushing like a storm and gentle as a breeze, hard as steel and soft as fluff, near me, within me. Multicolored in-between world, are your spaces wide enough for life to finally, cross out finally, find its final, cross out final, dwelling, question mark? Da, 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 da. That's the last word of that entry. Now you know, if anybody asks you, if you're on Jeopardy or whatever, and they're like, so what did Carl Jung hallucinate on January 1st, 1914? You can be like, okay, well, it all started like this. So congratulations, you're among a very elite few who have that information available now to pull out of their brain. Well, it's been interesting overall. the last couple episodes of all 5 of these series. Can't wait to get past the introduction and into the actual translation of Secret of the Golden Flower. Can't wait to get past the part where Ibn Arabi is talking about the helpers of the Mahdi. But Teilhard de Chardin has been really on point. Martin Luther's Martin Luther, what are you going to do? And the special episode, if you haven't seen it, if you want to watch something that I recommend watching while I'm away for the next couple weeks or however long it's going to be, check out Multiverse Cartographer Part 18. If you're like, what's that? I haven't seen 1 through 17. Just watch 18. It's fine. I said it was okay. So, you'll know by the time that's over if you want to watch 1 through 17. And I guess that's it. I will see you next time.